Those are the pretty simple questions. We'll go ahead once we finish this absolute value. Will that be okay? So because or else the entire rhythm will go away. So there are three questions of inequality that was left. We'll discuss that, but let's finish absolute value first. Those are easy questions. So this is one of the most important chapter. Yes, please tell me.
Sorry, Rahul, interrupting you at the beginning.
No issue, no issue.
So when like we go back to solving inequality question, I have it like I was revising the sheet, so have doubt in one or two. Like
After we are done with it.
Yeah,
After
so
we are
just
done.
telling you.
Sure,
Can we
sure,
take that
absolutely.
in the class is what I was asking.
100%, 100%. Why
Okay.
not? After the class,
Thank you.
we'll go ahead and see.
Okay.
Kashish, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Rahul, hi.
Perfect. So let's start absolute value. One of the most important chapter. Why? Because there's no difference between inequalities and absolute value. They just put a mod sign and the question becomes of absolute value. But this concept should be understood very properly in order to ensure that, because if you understand absolute value properly, you will not have to literally touch pen and paper to solve any question that relates to absolute value. So let's finish this and then we go back to inequalities and I'll clear all your doubts. So what absolute value is also called as mod. And there's just one logic for the mod is that mods are always positive. That's it. This is one simple logical, I would say one simple logic concept by which every questions of mods could be solved. So mods are always positive means what? So how do you define mod? It says that mod x is equal to positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. Simple logic. Mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. Please understand this negative x is also a positive element. What I've told you, negative x doesn't mean that x is negative. It means that negative and x are two different elements. So here negative x is two different elements. Now what exactly is this? This needs to be understood very properly. If you don't understand, please tell me. So if I do mod 5, this is just 5. That's it. But if I do mod of negative 6, what is this? Negative x. X in this case is negative 6. So negative of negative 6. This makes it positive 6. So please understand mod of any constant, any number. It is negative 100, negative 1000, negative 1 lakh. Doesn't matter at all. When it comes out of mod, it is just 100. They say you negative x over here. Why? Because if something is negative 100, when it comes out, it becomes negative of negative 100, remember. So that is nothing but 100. But you should be extremely cautious when you are taking out variables from the mod. So imagine if I take mod y is equal to positive y if y is greater than equal to 0. Please understand. And mod y is equal to negative y if y is less than 0. When we play around the constant like mod of negative 100, it is just 100. That's it. Because this is a number that is given to you, and you know that any number coming out from the mod is always positive. But in terms of variable, we are not sure that this particular variable is positive or negative. So we have to always take two cases, that mod y is equal to positive y if y is greater than equal to 0. So if you take any constant, let's say 1000, so mod of 1000 is just 1000. But mod of y is equal to negative y if y is less than 0. Why? Because this negative y also makes this number a positive number. So mod of negative 10 is nothing but negative of negative 10. So y here is negative 10. So anytime a mod coming out, any number coming out from the mod is always positive. Any variable coming out from the mod, you have to always take two cases. Imagine if I give you a simple question, if x is less than 0, what is the value of mod x minus 2? Anyone? I've defined you that x is less than 0. What is the value of mod of x minus 2? What? If x is less than 0, what is the value of mod of x minus 2? Think about it. Don't you feel it will be negative of... Absolutely, it will be negative of x minus 2. That is nothing but 2 minus x. Because now you put any negative value of x over here, it will always be a positive. Can you please switch off your mic, someone? Kashish, can you please switch off your mic? So if x is less than 0, what is value of mod of x minus 2? It should be negative x minus 2. Why? Because if you put any negative value of x over here, this entire thing becomes a negative. In order to ensure I put one more negative here, why? Because this entire element becomes positive. So I'll tell you how exactly you should solve the question, but let's understand what is mod. Mod means positive, that's it. When I take mod, any number you take, mod of 100 is just 100. Mod of negative 1000 is just 1000. But please understand, in case of variable, we aren't sure that this particular variable is positive or negative. So I have to confront with both the cases. Mod x, I would say, is positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. Mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. If this particular definition is understood to you, you will have no issues with the mod. Please tell me anyone who didn't understand this. Anyone? Is this clear, Kashish? Vanshika? Neha, is this clear? Perfect.
Yeah.
Now the second comes, how do you solve equation of mod? How do you solve equations of mod? So imagine if I simple give you mod of 3x minus 3 is equal to, let's say, 30. Please solve this. Take a minute, solve this, tell me the answers, please. Very simple question.
X equals 11 and minus 9.
Absolutely. So what exactly we normally do? We do 3x minus 3 is equal to 30, where I've got x is equal to 11. And we do 3x minus 3 is equal to negative 30. We have got x is equal to negative 9. So these are any mod equations you are solving. Please understand, you will have two answers. The point is, how did you do this 30 and how did you do this minus 30? So you did nothing else except you ensuring that you are expanding this particular mod with the help of definition. Imagine if I say you, so this is a normal way to do it. But ensure one thing very clearly. If the mod is on one side of the equation, whatever values you have got, if you are simply solving it, that 3x minus 3 is equal to 30, 3x minus 3 is equal to negative 30, x is equal to 11 or x is equal to negative 9, just ensure one thing for sure, that do check the validity of a solution. If I put x is equal to 11, check, is this LHS is equal to RHS? So this is a valid solution. If I put x is equal to negative 9, do I get LHS is equal to RHS? Yeah, because negative 9 is negative 27, negative 3 is negative 30. Mod of negative 30 is 30. So LHS is equal to RHS. Be very sure about one thing, that if mod is on one side of the equation, you 100% have to check the validity of a solution. There is an absolutely no ambiguity over here. And next it comes that how did you get this 30 and minus 30? You technically didn't do anything. You have just followed the standard definition of mod x. I'll just tell you how exactly, in a detailed way, you should be solving this. But you 100% the way we have done, you can 100% approach with that. Just ensure that whenever mod is on one side of the equation, at the end, when you get two values of whatever variable is, do check the validity. Checking validity means do keep it on the main equation and see if LHS is equal to RHS or not. So check here, exactly how should you be solving it? Case 1. What we know that there is a variable inside. So I'm not sure that 3x minus 3 is positive or negative. This is not sure. We are not sure about it. Why we are not sure? Because there's a variable attached over here. I don't know what is the value of x. If value of x is minus 100, this is a negative term. If value of x is 10, this is a positive term. So we are not sure about it. So I'll consider this entire thing as x. So mod of x is equal to positive x. It means what x is here? Mod of 3x minus 3 is equal to positive 3x minus 3 if 3x minus 3 is greater than equal to 0. That is, x is greater than equal to 1. Now you simply straight away solve that 3x minus 3 is equal to 30 and x is equal to 11. So for x greater than equal to 1, x is equal to 11, a valid solution. It's straightforward. Case 2. Mod of 3x minus 3, that is mod of x is equal to negative x. So negative of 3x minus 3. If 3x minus 3, that is x, is less than 0. I'm doing nothing. I'm straight away solving this equation with the help of definition. Mod of x is equal to positive x, x greater than equal to 0. Mod of x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. So I'm exactly using that x. Now I'm using the second condition. Mod of 3x minus 3 is equal to negative of 3x minus 3. If 3x minus 3 is less than 0, that is negative 3x plus 3 is equal to 30. And you will get x is equal to negative 9 over here. So for x Here it is x is less than 1. So for x less than 1, x is equal to -9, it's a valid solution. If you write it in this way, you don't have to worry about validity because you'll be able to match it from here. But it is not possible that in exam you will write all these things. You can straight away do 3x minus 3 is equal to 30. You will have x is equal to 11. You can straight away do 3x minus 3 is equal to -30. You will have x is equal to -9. All you need to ensure that whatever values you have got, you should check the validity of a solution. So imagine if I'm giving you one simple question over here. What is the value of x? Option number 1 says x is greater than 2. Option number 2 says mod x is equal to 3x minus 2. Please try. Take 2 minutes for this. 2 minutes is more, take a minute. Moment your true statement is the answer should be in form of ABCD. What the answer? Neha, Harin. Priti, if you can hear me, tell the answers, please.
It will be 1 and 1 by 2.
No, it's in form of ABCD you have to answer.
Okay, ABCD. Okay. In that form, sorry. Okay.
B, Rahul.
B, okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, B will be right.
Correct? Neha, what's the answer? Kashish, Vanshika. So it's simple. This is not sufficient, right? Because there could be multiple values. We have to find what is the value of x. It means there should be a unique numeric value of x. It's straightforward. Second says mod x is equal to 3x minus 2. What I have told you, you simply try and solve it. Simple, x is equal to 3x minus 2. That is, it comes this side, it becomes minus 2x, x is equal to 1. This is one case. And other case would be negative x is equal to 3x minus 2. It comes this side, it becomes negative 4x. That is, x is equal to half. Simple logic. So you have got two values. What I have told you that if mod is on one side of the equation, 100% you have to check the validity. If I put x is equal to 1, check, do I get LHS is equal to RHS? Please tell me. 1
Yes.
is equal to 1. So it's a valid solution.
Yes.
If I put x is equal to half, do I get LHS is equal to RHS? Please check. Because mod half is half. 3 into half minus 2 is what?
Minus half.
Minus half, right? So LHS is not equal to RHS, so this is not a valid solution. So I'll say that there's just one answer exists, that is x is equal to 1. That's the reason I mark answer B. A lot of time what people does is that you will have, they see that there are the two answers, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to half, and you say this is sufficient. And trust me, this is an easy question. If you make this question wrong, your 40 to 50 points is gone in maths. That's the reason I'm trying to say, okay, if variable is on one side of the, if mod is on one side of the equation, 100% check the validity of your solution before you proceed on. Because these are pretty simple questions. You can say x is equal to 1, x is equal to half, not sufficient. But you have to understand that x is equal to half is not a valid solution. So this is a very straightforward approach to do it. But when you do it with the proper case, you will get to know that. Now imagine if I am doing with the properly with the conservative method, that how it should be done. So see here, it says case 1. Because please understand, we are removing a variable from the mod. When you remove a variable from the mod, you aren't sure that variable is positive or negative. If you are removing, you will have to consider both the cases. So if at all I solve it properly, it is case 1. Mod x is equal to positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. Simple logic. Now I'll just do x is equal to 3x minus 2. Whichever is inside mod, only those elements you have to take here. So x is equal to 3x minus 2. It comes this side, it becomes how much? Minus 2x, x is equal to 1. Now for x greater than equal to 0, x is equal to 1, valid solution. Second case 2 is mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. That is negative x is equal to 3x minus 2. So that means x is equal to half. Now just see, for x less than 0, do you think x is equal to half is a valid solution? It's not a valid solution. So I just have one answer, x is equal to 1. So I will say option number 2 is sufficient to answer the question. I hope I am very clear. Any doubt? So this is when mod is on one side of the equation. When mod is on both the sides of the equation, you simply solve it.
So Rahul, in the second case,
Yeah.
like the x is contradicting itself, right? Matlab,
Yeah. Because they are trying to say that this is only possible for one value of x, that is x is equal to half. X is equal to 1. That's it. Usually what happens that whenever you solve a mod equation, you get two values, right, Haran?
right.
They are trying to say that one value, the other value that you have got.
जाने दे क्या होगा खिड़की खुली है एसी ऑफ कर दो या खोल दो ना खिड़की यार
Priti, mute yourself, please.
I'm so sorry so sorry
No issue, no issue. So that's what is Haran, right? Is this clear, Haran?
Right.
Any doubt, Haran?
No.
Second is when mod is on both the sides of equation. So imagine if the equation is mod A equal to mod B, what exactly you do? You just do A equal to B or A equal to negative B. That's it. If you have to evaluate this properly, it should be A equal to B, A equal to negative B, negative A equal to B, negative A equal to negative A. Technically, these two and these two are eventually the same entity. So if mod A equal to mod B, A should be equal to B and A should be equal to minus B. That's it. And please understand, if at all you solve any equations of a mod where mod is on both the sides, please ensure that both the values are valid values. You don't have to check the validity. Imagine if I give you a simple question, mod of 3x minus 10 is equal to mod of x plus 20. If at all you have to solve this equation, how do you solve? You just solve 3x minus 10 is equal to x plus 20 or 3x minus 10 is equal to negative of x plus 20. You get two values of x, right? Please understand both the values of x are valid values. Both the values of x are valid values. 100% be very sure that both the values of x are valid value. You don't have to check the validity. Now the question comes why. Imagine this is a question that I have given you. I'll just explain you why it is. You will yourself understand. Now, this is one question that I've given you. Imagine if I do it mod x is equal to mod of 3x minus 2. Now, what is your question? Now, you have a solution x is equal to 1. You have a solution x is equal to half. Now, you put both the solution check. Are they valid or not? Put both the values here and check x is equal to 1 and x is equal to half. I'm putting mod on both the sides.
Yeah, they are valid because the negative would eventually be converted to positive.
Because please understand, anything coming out from the mod is always positive. Anything coming out from the mod is always positive. Mod defines positive, that's it. Mod means positive value. So in case when mod are on both the sides of equation, please understand you don't have to check the validity. Both the solution, both the values of x are valid values. But one thing, be very sure about it. If mod is on one side of the equation, 100% you should check the validity at the end of your solution, or else sometime you may be in a big trouble. You will feel that whatever you have done is 100% right, but something may go wrong for sure. So I hope it's very clear why they are valid values, because both are inside mod. Both these equations are inside mod. Anything coming out from this equation is always positive. Anything coming out from here is always positive. Simple logic. So there is no concept of that left side you will get positive, right side you will get negative. No. But when mod is on one side of the equation, you must check the validity. A lot of time, both the solutions are valid solutions. But many a time only one solution would be valid if they try to trick you in. Is this clear? A very normal thing. Now imagine in mod, it's very important to understand one simple line. When is the condition possible? What do I mean by this? I'll just say you. When is the condition possible? You don't have to be scared at all by looking into the expressions in the questions of mod. Your simple job is to think for anything. When is the condition possible? Imagine if I say you mod x greater than x. What do you mean by this? What does this mean? Mod x greater than x?
X is positive.
Do you really feel?
X is negative.
X is equal to 1. Do you think 1 greater than 1?
Negative, sorry.
Absolutely. So mod x greater than x simple means that x is negative. Imagine if I say you minus x mod x greater than x. What do you mean by this? Think about it.
X is negative.
Absolutely. You have to do nothing. You just have to think, when are these conditions possible? What do you mean by when are these conditions possible? Put some positive or negative values of x and see this expression holds true or not. Simple logic. Imagine minus x mod x greater than 0. What does this mean? Again, x should be negative.
Negative.
Because if you take negative x, this becomes positive. This is anyway positive. Positive into positive is greater than 0. Here, if you take negative x, this becomes positive. This becomes positive. Negative of negative x. This is anyway positive because it is inside mod. Positive into positive is greater than a negative number. If I say you 1 by x less than negative x, what do you mean by this? When is this condition possible? Think about it. Only when x is negative. Because when x is negative, this becomes negative and this will become positive. So, am I clear? So, please understand in exam, especially in absolute value, they will never give you any expression that x is negative. They will give you all these expressions and they can form a multiple expression of such thing. Your job is not to be scared at all. Ki what does this expression means? This means nothing. It's simple. You just plug in the values and check for yourself what exactly this expression means. For what value of x this expression is actually possible. So do not be scared at all by looking into the expressions in mod. They can give you some very, very difficult expressions and all, but when you actually evaluate it, analyze it, they will be trying to say you nothing except x is positive or negative. That's it. So if I say you mod x is less than a, what does this mean by the way? Can I say x lies between negative and positive a? What exactly is this? When I say you mod x is less than 5, does that mean that x lies between negative 5 and 5? Please understand this is no formula. This is solution of the equation. Because if I put any value from here into this equation, don't you think this equation satisfies? Check for yourself. Mod x less than 5, I'm telling you it means x lies between negative 5 and positive 5. It means you put you put any values from here into the actual equation and you will say this equation is holding true. Look for yourself.
One question, Rahul.
Yeah.
So when we open the modulus, it's always on the variable side of the, like, suppose it is mod x minus a is equal to 5, okay? So when you open it up, it is x minus a is equal to 5 or minus of x minus a is equal to 5. I mean, both the things are same or
take both the cases.
they're same.
Simple. Mod x minus, imagine what you said, mod x minus 5 is equal to 0, right?
Mod x minus a is equal to 5.
Mod x minus a is equal to
5.
What is a here? A is some
A
constant,
is defined
right?
as, yeah, a is defined as like some constant which is greater than 0.
Absolutely fine. Now, while you are solving this equation, then obviously you can take both the thing. You can straight away take mod x minus a is equal to 5, x minus a is equal to negative 5. Just ensure that whatever the value of x you get, you put it here back and check that is this solution valid or not. That's it.
Okay.
Agreed? So mod x less than 5 simple means x lies between negative 5 and 5. The point is ki
No, I was saying ki, can you open it from the other side? Like I would say the whole of x minus a, we put a negative sign on that part instead of the 5 part. It will be the same thing, right?
You only open the mod part. You never open, which is not in mod. Why should I even bother?
No, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ki, we'll put the, the negative sign on the other side, like negative
No,
of x
no,
minus a is
no,
equal to
no.
5.
Simple, simple, simple. You just follow the case 1, case 2. Case 1,
Okay.
mod of x minus a is equal to positive x minus a. If x minus a is greater than equal to 0. Now you open this, x minus a is equal to 5. Whatever value you should get should match to x greater than a. Case 2, mod of x minus a is negative of x minus a if x minus a is less than 0. Now x is less than a. Whatever you do now, negative of x plus a. So you do negative of x minus a is equal to 5, or you do x minus a is equal to negative 5. It's no change at all. It's same. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly the same. You always open the value which is inside mod, Neha. You should not even bother about which is not inside mod. Why should I even think about it?
Yeah.
So when I say you mod x is less than 5, x lies between negative 5 and 5, this is not the formula. This is solution of the equation. If I told you have to solve this equation, how do you solve it? See here. So mod x is less than 5. Whenever we are opening mod, there should be two cases should eventually come into picture. Case 1, mod x is equal to positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. That is x is less than 5. Case 2, mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. That is negative x is less than 5. That is nothing but x is greater than negative 5. So see here, x less than 5. For x greater than 0, so 0 to 5 is the solution. X greater than negative 5 for x less than 0. So x less than 0 to 5 is the 0 to negative 5 is the solution. Can I say x lies between negative 5 and 5? That's it. So please understand this is no formula. When I say you mod x is less than 5, x lies between negative 5 and 5, you put this back into the equation and check all the equations should satisfy, all the values should satisfy. That's it. But when you say mod x less than a, can I 100% say a by default is a positive element? Because there does not exist any situation where you will say Rahul mod x is less than 0 or mod x is less than negative 1. This is undefined in math. You can't define this in math. Mod can never be less than 0 or mod can never be less than negative number because mod as an element is always positive. A positive element cannot be less than 0. It cannot be less than negative 1. So this is practically not possible. So when you say mod x is less than a, x lies between negative and positive a, by default a is a positive element. Be very sure about it. Anyone, any doubt? Harendra, is this clear?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's pretty simple, guys. Mod x less than a, simple means x lies between negative a and positive a. And this is no formula, this is solution of this particular equation. If I say you mod x greater than a, it means x lies outside of negative a and positive a. X is less than negative a or x is greater than positive a. That means, imagine if I say mod x greater than 10, it means x is less than negative 10 or x is greater than positive 10. And this is the solution of equation. You put any value over here, you will see this equation satisfies. So solution of a equation, it means what? That you plug this value into the main equation and your main equation should satisfy. Simple logic. Am I clear? Anyone in doubt at this place? Because problem will go super fast. This is the one thing that you need to understand properly. Because if mod theories are clear, problem is 1, 0. No problem, you need to touch pen and paper. Am I being clear over here? That's fine, right? So there's one thing, guys. Please understand, GMAT tests you only on real number. GMAT tests you in real number. In fact, GMAT, CAT, every competitive exam, no competitive exam tests you on complex number. So because this tests you on real number, it means that roots are always positive in GMAT. Be very sure. In GMAT, root 4 is just 2, not minus 2. Root 4 is 2. That's it. Root of 9 is just 3, not negative 3. Root of 16 is just 4, not negative 4. Please understand, because technically what we say, root 4 is plus minus 2. But it is wrong for GMAT because they test you only on real number. There is no imaginary number that you are being tested on. Root of negative 2 in GMAT is just negative root 2. That's it. But technically it is not negative root 2. It's a complex number which is in form of p plus iq. But again, you are not supposed, complex number are not tested in any competitive exam. So for any competitive exam, let's not get into the details of y and all. Just ensure that root 4 is 2. Roots are always positive. So please understand roots, mods, and square. Always positive with respect to any competitive exam, I can tell you. So root 4 is 2, root 9 is 3, root 16 is 4. There is no plus minus 2, plus minus 3, plus minus 4. What is root x square, by the way? Anyone, please? Root x
Root
square?
x square. It's just
Mod X.
Mod x.
Absolutely. You cannot write x, be very sure, because this is a variable. And a variable may be
Yeah.
positive or negative. So in order to ensure this is 100% positive, root x square is just mod x. What is root of y square? It's mod y. What is root of z square? It should be mod z.
Mod
Any
z.
variable coming out from the mod. So imagine in the same term, what is root of x minus 2 whole square? There should be mod x minus 2. If you write x minus 2, everything is wrong. Be very sure. You cannot get a right answer if you write x minus 2 because x and mod x are two different corners of the ocean. They behave in a very different way because the moment mod x comes into picture, you have to take two cases. So root of x minus 2 whole square is mod x minus 2. It's not x minus 2, and if you do x minus 2, you will be wrong. So please ensure. So that's the reason I'm trying to say. Okay, x is, if I say you x square is equal to 36. What is the value of x? X can be plus 6 or minus 6. But if it is root 36, it has to be just 6, no minus 6 and all. Understand the difference. If x square is equal to 36, x can be plus 6 or minus 6. But if it is root 36, it should be just 6. Now the question you can ask me, how, Rahul? Why is this? Take root. Root x square is equal to root 36. Root of x square is what? Mod x. And this is equal to 6. So if you remove mod, x would be equal to plus 6 or minus 6. Because when you put LHS is equal to RHS, you put here LHS is equal to RHS. Simple logic. Root of 36 is 6. So always remember, x square is equal to 4. X can be plus 2 or minus 2. But if it is root 4, it's gonna be only 2. There should be no ambiguity in this logic. Absolutely no. There's the last bit of theory is left. We know that mod is always positive. Always positive. And distance is also always positive. You never say that you're going minus 10 kilometer or minus 5 kilometers, respective of the direction you're going in. You never say I'm going around minus 10 kilometers. No, you go in any direction, you say I'm going 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 2 kilometer, whatsoever. So distance is always positive, mod is always positive. So distance are represented by using mods. I'll just tell you, represented by using mods. And this will come in a huge, this will be used hugely in number line chapter. So please understand what is mod x. Mod x is said nothing but mod of x minus 0. And this is nothing but distance between point x and point 0 on number line. What is mod of x minus 5? This is distance between point x and point 5 on number line. Be very sure about it. What is mod of x plus 10? This is nothing but mod of x negative of negative 10. So this is being defined as distance between point x and point negative 10 on the number line. So I can generalize this by saying that mod of x minus a is nothing but distance between point x and point a on the number line. Be very sure about it. And this concept will be used a lot in number system chapter. We have one or two problem here also. But in number system, it will be used hugely. So let's start with the question. I think I've covered everything. I won't ask you to solve question number 1 because root of x square is nothing but mod x by x. Simple logic. Let's start with question number 2, please. So you have to solve question number 2 and there's one more question I'm giving you. Both the questions, you please take 4-minute time, solve both the questions. If x is less than 0, what is the value of x minus 4 to the power 2? I'll just write the answers. Please solve these both the questions and let's discuss after that. You can take 4 minutes for it. I'm not speaking in it. Exactly the same time.
One second, Rahul. One question I have. Hello.
What the answer for question number 1, 2,
Is it root x?
root x? No. Anyone else?
Is it negative x?
Okay, good. Yeah. Anyone else got the answer? Kashish, Manan, Priti? Manan A, okay. So in this type of a question, please ensure do not play around with the variables at all. Absolutely no. It will be a disaster. It is said that x is less than 0, take some number. Let's say x is equal to -5. Or let's say x is equal to -10. Someone who wants to take -10 can take -10. Simple logic. If I take x is equal to -5, what happens? This negative x mod x, these are 3 different elements. Negative of -5. This is -5. In this case, it will be negative of -10 and mod -10. So in this case, it would be 5 cross 5, that is 5. In this case, it would be 10 cross 10, that is 10. But what have you assumed? X is equal to -5 you assumed, right? So what is 5? Is equal to negative x. You have assumed x is equal to -10. So what is 10? 10 is nothing but is equal to negative x. So negative x is your answer. Harendra, is this clear? Man, is this clear? How have you done?
Yeah, that's fine.
Imagine if this is the question you have to solve. Question number 2. This one.
Rahul, if you're
Yeah.
taking negative x, why can't you take -1?
Take -1. Doesn't matter.
So second option is -1.
No, but the point is, if it is -1, no value of x is defined, na Kashish. They have
हाँ,
not defined any value in the question, right? So
हाँ.
you are assuming yourself that x is equal to -1, you are bringing this answer. But if you
Uh-huh.
assume x is equal to -1, someone can assume x is equal to -50 also, right?
Yeah, correct.
They have not defined the value. They have not defined any values or value of x in the question. So your answer should be in form of x only. Always
Okay.
remember that. Agreed?
Hmm.
Now imagine this is the question. If it says x is less than 0, what is the value of this? Can I say, let's say x is equal to -1. What will be this? -3 it is, or -4, whatever you write. -3, imagine. Sorry. This is the question is -3, not -4. But it will be based on the same thing. If x is equal to -1, imagine. So if I do it -1, -4 to the power 4, -4 to the power 4 is 4 to the power 4. Root of 4 to this root 4 gets cancelled. It will be 4 plus negative of -1. It will be 1. I'm just asking you put x is equal to -1 entirely. Because they have told you if x is less than 0, I'm asking you put x is equal to -1 or any value that you want to assume for yourself. I'm taking -1 because it's easier one. So if I'll get -4 to the power 4, and this is 4 plus negative of -1, -1. The -4 to the power 4 is 4 to the power 4. That is 4 plus 1. That is 5. Now you put -1 over here. You will get 5. This is the easiest way to do it. If you want to play around with the variables, it will be a bit tougher one, but we can do it. But before that, I've told you that every mod questions can be solved with the logic. So imagine this root of something. Okay, you will get a positive value from here. Root of something. Will you get a positive value from here? Your end result is what? Positive. Now it is given that x is negative. It is given that x is negative. If you put any negative value of x, you will always get a positive result. This is a logical way to approach this problem without touching pen and paper. You put here -20, you will get a negative value. You put here -1, you will get a negative value. It is anyway negative value. So if you mark fourth option as an answer, they'll deduct your lot of points. It means they'll understand that you have no logics, you have no idea about what exactly is root. So answer can never be -3 because you are doing positive plus positive can never be a -3. So you should not mark this. 2x plus 3, if you put here x is equal to -10, you will get a negative value. But this is a place where you put any negative value of x, you will get a positive value. So this is a logical approach. You can 100% go ahead with what? With the algebraic approach, but you should not. But we can try here. Here x is less than 0. Root of x minus 3 to the is what? This is mod x minus 3 plus root of minus x mod x. We have just solved. This is -x. I can write straight away -x over here. Now tell me for x less than 0, what is the value of x minus 3? Think about it.
3 minus x.
It will be negative of x minus 3, right? Minus -x, that is -x plus 3 minus x, that is 3 minus 2x. But please understand, if this doesn't happen proper, you will mark everything wrong. And that's the reason I tell you not to play around with the variables in the mod question. If they have defined you x is negative, x is positive, take some number and do it. It's a pretty simple way to approach. So it's all up to you. The point is that every mod questions can be approached with in a very logical way. In logical way, you will not have to touch pen and paper, but to be very sure about your logics, you should know the conservative way of approaching a question.
Now I have a doubt in the first one.
Please tell me. First
Yeah,
one.
first one, the -x one.
Yes.
So my answer came as x because, but the same logic, like x took as negative, the value comes out positive.
As a -x, and this is
Mod x.
mod x. So this x is negative, right?
Yes.
And this is also negative. Correct?
Yeah, yes.
So it becomes positive. For
Yes.
x less than 0, what is the value of mod x?
Minus
Mod
x.
is equal to positive. So this -x will come out and this will become -x.
Sorry.
Because this minus made it positive, right?
Right.
But this is -x, right?
Yes.
So this will come out and this will become a root of x square. Didn't understand? See here. Can I say negative of -x?
Because
Negative x?
the root cannot be negative is what?
Yeah.
So
That's what root of -2 in GMAT is -2.
okay.
The point is you should understand this. Mod x is equal to positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. Mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. They have defined x is less than 0. So
Right.
this will become positive and one negative will come out. Correct?
Okay. Okay.
Agreed?
Okay.
Because the point is you have to understand in this way also. If x is less than 0, what you are trying to find? You are trying to find root of something, right?
Yes.
You 100% know root of something is always going to be a positive value, Haran.
Yeah, that is why I marked the answer as X.
That's the what you have done wrong because it is already given x is negative. So the answer will be negative x. So that this negative and this negative x will make it positive.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
And that's the reason I'm trying to say you may be extremely expert in the algebraic way of doing mod, but still in exam, take values, take numbers, that will give you a very clear picture. Or else little bit minus plus and it's all over. And the point is here, Harin, conceptually it can never be positive x as the answer. Why? Because it is saying you root of something. Root of something is always a positive value, but they have defined you already x is less than 0. So if you say
The value in
the
itself
answer
would
is
become negative. Oh,
negative, so that will never be a possible. So it's a negative.
okay. Okay. So a lot of, I would say, playing around with the sign.
Lot of playing around with the signs and little bit here and there distractions will take the entire thing into hell. So it's always better, however much confident you are in algebraic way of doing mods, please take numbers. That's always beneficial, always. And you'll have a very great clarity as to what you are doing. Question number 3, please. Can we do it? Take 2 minutes. Good question. So we'll try to solve all the questions with the conservative approach and as well as logical approach so that you understand what is happening over here. I'll just come from washroom. Give me 1 minute time.
Is it C, Rahul?
Yeah, it is C. Yes.
What's the answer? Answers, please.
C.
Right? So just check how we approach this question logically. Can I say this is 100% a positive element? Because mod means positive. Root, square root, mod, square. These are always positive irrespective of whatever. Can I 100% be sure that this is left hand side is a positive element? Can I change my entire question to is y minus z greater than equal to 0? Simple logic. Option number 1 says me what? Y minus z is equal to negative x. I don't know the value of this x. X is positive or negative. I'm not sure about it. If x is negative, y minus z is a positive value. If x is positive, y minus z is a negative value. So not sufficient. Am I clear? Any doubt? X less than 0, I have no idea about y and z. I have no idea about y and z. So I can say not sufficient. If I combine both the stuffs, y minus z is equal to negative x. From option number 2, I know that x is less than 0. Can I 100% sure say y minus z is a positive element now? So prove C. I didn't even evaluate x and all. I just logically solved it because I know that mod x is always a positive element. I can change my question to is y minus z greater than equal to 0. Option number 1 says y minus z is equal to negative x. I am not sure about the sign of x over here. X may be positive, x may be negative. If x is positive, y minus z is negative. If x is negative, y minus z is positive. So option number 1 is not sufficient. Option number 2 doesn't say me anything about y minus z, so that is not sufficient. But when I combine, I know that y minus z is equal to negative x. But option number 2 says me x is negative. So y minus z is 100% a positive element. So this is C. Now this is one way, this is a logical approach. Anyone, any doubt? Kashish? Neha? Is this clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
Rahul.
can't we take numbers and solve it rather?
But what? You will have to assume 3 different values. You will have to assume x, you will have to assume y, you will have to assume z. Why you want that? It is very tough.
Yeah, I mean, this is simple, but even from that, we can arrive at an answer quickly.
But what exactly is number? How do you tell me? I've never assumed number in this question for sure, but I can actually look into it if you tell me.
Yeah, so two sets we're going to take. So first set, we have taken, suppose, x as positive.
What is that number?
Suppose x is 5, okay,
Uh,
and y is 3,
Y is 3.
and z is equal to 8.
Z is equal to 8.
8.
But you can't take now because 5 is equal to negative 5, you can't say. The question is this equal to this?
Okay, okay, okay.
So you cannot do by number. It'll be very time taking, time consuming process. Very bad process.
Okay.
There are 3 different variables over here.
Okay.
If at all you want to go approach with the conservative way, you can take 2 cases over here. Case 1, mod x is equal to positive x if x is greater than equal to 0. That is x is equal to y minus z. Case 2 is Neha, mod x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0. That is negative x is equal to y minus z. That is nothing but y plus x is equal to z. Now y plus x is equal to z is possible when x is less than 0. So option number 1 says y plus x is equal to z. But option number 1 misses the condition because y plus x is equal to z is only possible when x is less than 0. And that you are getting from option number 2. So combined, we have C as a straightforward answer. This entire case is coming over here. That's it. But you should not assume numbers now or else it will be a huge trouble because there are 3 different numbers you are trying to assume. Why?
Yeah, and it can result in ambiguity.
Huge problem. Anyone, any doubt? Harinder, clear? Mank, clear?
Yep.
One
Yes.
second, Rahul. I have a question here.
Yeah, please tell me.
Suppose somebody is like you give homework in the last class and all. So
Hmm.
somebody is doing that, and suppose we're like having some approach, and we want to ask you as a doubt something.
Please.
Then
I've
how
always told
can
you.
we
Okay,
do that?
I've always told you. WhatsApp me directly. Whenever I'm free, I'll call you and explain. Whenever.
Oh, okay. I mean,
And you can
that's through
expect that
WhatsApp.
you can expect this within 2 to 3 years I'll respond. If I'm free, I'll immediately respond. And if at all I'm taking some class, you'll have to just wait for me to finish the class and respond it to you.
No, but
But
I
it's
think
always
that will be through mail or WhatsApp.
no,
WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp. Just WhatsApp me. I'll immediately get to see what is your doubt. Whenever I'm
Yeah,
free, I'll call you and explain.
sure.
That should not be a problem at all. Just that if I'm free, I'll immediately call back and explain it to you. And if I'm not
No,
free,
time is not a problem. I was saying ki are we like following the mail approach that mail may you give the problem or WhatsApp? What's the approach I wanted to
no,
know?
just WhatsApp it. Just WhatsApp it. It's straightforward. I'll have no issue with it. Question number 4. Please take a minute. What the answer for this?
Is it A?
Yeah. So what is the logical way to approach it? This is what 100% a positive element. Can I change my question as 5 minus x greater than 0 or equal to 0? Option number 1 says what? Minus x greater than x minus x mod x greater than 0 means x is negative. If x is negative, 5 minus x is surely greater than 0, sufficient. Option number 2 says that 5 minus x is greater than 0. This is sufficient again, D. So this is a logical way to approach it. I've just assumed that roots are always positive, so I change my question as 5 minus x greater than equal to 0. But if you don't want to, if you want to go ahead with the conservative way, so just do it in this way. Is mod of x minus 5 is equal to 5 minus x. Now, please, this is the question, so do not start solving this at all. Let this be a question because my statements are pretty simple one. Statement number 1 says what? X is negative, less than 0. You put any value of negative x and see LHS is equal to RHS or not. Think for yourself. Take any negative value of x, take some 2, 3 values and check that are you getting LHS is equal to RHS, yes or no? You are. So this is sufficient. Option number 2 says what? 5 minus x is greater than 0. That is minus x is greater than minus 5. That is x is less than 5. Now x less than 5, we put any value over here, see LHS is equal to RHS or not. You will get it. So this is also D. Clear? Any doubt here? Question number 5. Take a minute, please.
B, Rahul.
Absolutely.
The B is the correct answer.
Yeah. Anyone doubt? Because the question says what is 3 minus x greater than equal to 0? Option number 1 says x is not equal to 3. X could be anything. Imagine x is equal to 10. So 3 minus x is less than 0. Imagine x is equal to negative 5. 3 minus x will be greater than 0. So I have a yes and no situation. Option number 1 is not sufficient. Minus x mod x greater than 0 simple means x is negative. If x is negative, 3 minus x, you put any negative value of x over here, it will surely be greater than 0. So this is sufficient. We'll come to question number 6 later. Let's go to question number 7. Can you please try question number 7? Take 2 minutes. Good question. Very good question. Please try. I'm not speaking. Any answers?
I think the second one, which is B, is sufficient. The first one is not sufficient.
Perfect. Anyone else, please? Surrender, ma'am. Pratik, what's the answer? Rakesh,
Didn't arrive at a conclusion, Rahul.
right. A good question.
Hmm. प्रिपेयर नहीं हो रहा है ना ठीक है काम कर
So what it says, can I say option number 1 is straight away not sufficient? Because the question
Just a
asking
second,
what is-
Rahul.
Oh, sure.
Just trying. Is it E?
No.
Right. Okay.
First one's got multiple solutions, so I don't think it is sufficient.
Yeah, because it says that, see here, what is the value of x? They have given you greater than equal to y. You will never get the value of x because when you say x is equal to 5, this is called value of x. When you say x greater than equal to 5, this is called range of x, not value of x. So option number 1 says mod of x minus 3 greater than equal to y. Just by looking this, you can say this is not sufficient. But to understand it better, let's see here. So it says mod of x minus 3 greater than equal to y. I know that it is given to me y is greater than equal to 0 in the question. So y could be 0, 1, 2, so all the way to infinity. So imagine mod of x minus 3 greater than equal to 0. Mod of x minus 3 could be greater than equal to 1. Mod of x minus 3 can be greater than equal to 2. All the way mod of x minus 3 can be greater than equal to infinity. So for every different values of y, we'll keep getting different range of x. We'll not get value of it. So we are not supposed to even solve it. I can say this is not sufficient. Now let's come down to the second one. Mod of x minus 3 less than equal to negative y. And it says me what y is greater than equal to 0. So y could be 0, 1, 2, all the way to infinity. Straightforward. Now there's a negative y attached over here. There's nothing called negative 0. Negative 0 is nothing but negative 1 times 0, then that is equal to 0. That is negative 1, negative 2, negative infinity. So if I do it, mod of x minus 3 less than equal to 0, mod of x minus 3 less than equal to negative 1, mod of x minus 3 less than equal to negative 2, to all the way mod of x minus 3 less than equal to negative infinity. Simple logic. Please understand these are impossible conditions in math. Mod can never be less than a negative number. So I'm just left with one condition, that is mod of x minus 3 is less than equal to 0. What does this mean? That mod of x minus 3 is less than 0 or mod of x minus 3 is equal to 0. When this is not possible, mod can never be less than 0. So there is only one possibility, mod of x minus 3 is equal to 0. When is this possible? Only when x is equal to 3. Any doubt, Harendra? Tell me.
No.
Kashish, clear? Man.
And one thing also we can imagine, we can do in second case is
Yeah.
like if you see that it is only satisfying for the 0 value, other values are straightforward cut there, right?
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Yeah.
X is equal to 3, only you take, then it satisfies, else no. Correct? Yeah? Agreed?
Yeah, Rahul, absolutely, yeah.
Rahul,
Yeah.
I solved it by opening the modulus. So I took options like 6 greater than 3, less than 3, and then opening the modulus.
Yeah, that you
So-
can do, but here too you can't open it all, Nagrati. This place.
matlab this is more straightforward and less time consuming. But in
Yeah.
that also I'm getting only one solution wherein x can only be equal to 3. It
That's
cannot be
fine.
any
That's
other
fine.
value.
That's 100% fine, Pradeep. That's absolutely perfectly fine. You can open it up. Question number 8, please. 1 minute, hardly.
Is it A?
Perfect.
For me also it's A.
Okay. When the expressions are same right from the questions to statement, you should 100% for your own convenience try and change it for sure, because the question says is 1 over a minus b. Less than b minus a is nothing but negative of a minus b. Option number 1 says you what? A minus b is less than 0. Option number 2 says you mod of a minus b is greater than 1. You can straight away say, let's say a minus b is equal to x. Why should I even get into a minus b term? So my question becomes is 1 by x less than negative x. Option number 1 says x is less than 0. Option number 2 says mod x is greater than 1. So 1 by x less than negative x, when is this possible? Only when x is negative. I can say sufficient. Mod x less than 1 means what? X could be less than negative 1. Or x could be greater than positive 1. So x can take negative values also, positive value also, not sufficient. Okay. Pretty simple question. Right? Any doubt?
And actually, Rahul, one
Yeah.
question here.
Yeah, yeah.
So actually, we have already deduced that in that cases of where 1 by x is less than minus that 1 by x less than minus x. So it's straightforward that x has to be negative. So
Right.
we can just use that and solve it within seconds. I mean, is it universally applicable? I'm just asking that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If at all you see in any question, but write
Uh-huh.
every expression should be same, right? From the question
Uh-huh.
to the every statement, the expression is same. You can easily solve anyway. Easily.
Yeah, I mean, just
Any
just
type of
just
question.
replace it with x, and it is the same answer, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. This is just to confuse you. A minus b less than, because just think that a minus b as a term will be less than negative 1 by a minus b when. Only when a minus b is negative. This is what is option number 1 trying to say. Here they are trying to say, okay, a minus b can be less than negative 1, or a minus b can be greater than positive 1. So this is direct way you can approach it. If you want to take numbers, you can take numbers as well. All up to you. Question number 9, please. Take a minute. Not tough question. What's the question? Is mod x less than 1? Does x lies between -1 and 1? This is my question. Option number 1 says, what is the value? You have got mod both the sides. So you just have to solve x plus 1 is equal to positive of 2x minus 1 and x plus 1 is equal to negative of 2x minus 1. What are the values that you have got? So option number 1, this is just x plus 1 is equal to 2 or
3 and -1.
3 and minus 1. No,
1 is 2. X is-
no, no.
3 and 1
Simple
by
equation
3.
you have to solve. 2x minus 2. It is x3 and 1 by 3 you should be getting. So this is x is equal to 3. Can I say?
Oh,
Now when I do x plus 1 is equal to negative 2x plus 2, I get here is 3x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 by 3. That's it. So if you solve statement number 1, you get two values of x, that is x is equal to 3 and 1 by 3. So my question is, does x lies between -1 and 1? In this case, it lies. In this case, it does not lie. So you have a yes and no situation. You can say not sufficient. It's straightforward. What do you mean by mod x minus 3 greater than 0? What does this mean? Think.
X can take any value for us. It will always be positive.
Yeah.
It's a distance between x and 3.
No, but it says x minus 3 is greater than 0. What does this mean? If you see here, if you put x is equal to 3, what would happen? You'll get 0, right?
0.
But if you do not put 3, except for x, except for 3, you put any other value, it will always be greater than 0 because this entire element is under mod.
Right.
Just for one value, if I put x is equal to 3, I'll get 0. Except for 3, I put any other value, it will always be greater than 0. And if it's a bit problem, then my job is to do what? Simply evaluate it, because I know mod x greater than a means what? X is less than negative a, or x is greater than positive a. So here I can do x minus 3 is less than, there is nothing called negative 0. Negative 0 is 0. Or I can do x minus 3 is greater than 0. X is either less than 3 or x is greater than 3. The simple means x is not equal to 3, because if I put 3, the equation will become 0. Except 3, you put any other value. You put -10, -100, -1000, -1 lakh. Doesn't matter at all. It is inside mod. It comes out, it will be a positive value, except for x is equal to 3. So option number 2 just says you that x is not equal to 3. It could be anything else, so not sufficient. But when you combine this, what happens? X is equal to 3 from option number 1. X is equal to 3 and 1 by 3. Option number 2 says x is not equal to 3. So when you combine them, x is equal to 1 by 3. And 1 by 3 lies between -1 and 1. Correct? So anything, when you see here x minus 10 greater than 0, mod of x minus 10 greater than 0, simple means x is not equal to 10. It could be any other number. Mod of x minus 5 greater than 0, it simple means x is not equal to 5. I can generalize it by saying mod of x minus a greater than 0, simple means x is not equal to a. That's it. So if I combine it, you have the answer. Question number 10, please. Good one. Please try. Take 2 minutes. When your video is on, can you switch it off?
Is it A?
A. No. There's not one single question which you will not know, but getting the right answer is also important.
Rahul,
Yeah. Can't hear you. Tell. Pratik, can't hear you. Any answers? So it says what? Y is an integer.
Is it A, Rahul?
No.
No.
Y is an integer. This is given to me. And then it is because our job is to ensure what I've told you in the inequalities class, that if there is an information given to you in the question, you need to 100% ensure that information should be understood before you go ahead and solve the question. So it says y is an integer, pretty simple. Now the next says y is equal to x plus modulus x. So we need to understand this. Tell me, to understand this, let's understand what is x plus modulus x. Can I say x plus modulus x is equal to 0 if x is less than 0? Agreed?
Yes.
Can I say x
Yep.
plus modulus x is equal to 0 if x is equal to 0? And x plus modulus x is a positive number if x is positive number. So from here, can I conclude that value of x plus modulus x can never be negative? Is this clear? And in question, what from the information, what I know, that value of y depends on the value of x plus modulus x. Depends on value of x plus modulus x. Straightforward logic. Now option number 1 says x is less than 0. For x less than 0, x plus modulus x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, sufficient. Option number 2 says y is less than 1, but it also says y is an integer. And I also know that y can never be a negative value at all. Why? Because value of y depends on the value of x plus modulus x, and x plus modulus x value can never be negative. So for y less than 1, there is only one value left, y is equal to 0. Considering y is an integer, you can't say, Rahul, y can be half, 1 by 3, 1 by 4. No.
Right.
So D is the answer. So you know everything, but despite that, if you mark wrong answer, it's wrong. This is called silly mistake. Question number 11. Now this is a question where you see right from the questions to statement, everything is inside mod. So you should use the distance logic for sure. Anything else will be a problematic, remember. Please try.
Rahul, can you go to the solution of the previous question once?
Yeah. Check. Any doubt?
Okay.
Agreed?
No, yeah, Rahul. No, understood. And that is split. I was just confused on that. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone? Any doubt in question number 10? Come down to question number 11, please. So what exactly we are doing here? Convert everything in terms of distance concept. The question is saying, is distance between y and a less than distance between y and b? And they have given you a very beautiful sequence over here. Can I say this is A, this is Y, this is Z, this is B? Imagine Y and A is T1, this is T2, and this is T3. The question is asking, is Y minus A less than Y minus B? It means that the question is saying, is T1 is less than T2 plus T3? Am I clear? Any doubt? Statement number 1 says what? Z minus A is less than Z minus B. It means T1 plus T2 is less than T3. Option number 2 says what? Y minus A is less than Z minus B. That is T1 is less than T3. Now imagine the question says is T1 is less than T2 plus T3. Here I see T1 plus, logically I can straight away say option number 1 is sufficient. But still, it says T1 plus T2 is less than T3. Now imagine this in terms of distance. If I tell you 10 kilometer plus 20 kilometer is less than 100 kilometer, can I say 10 kilometer alone will be less than 100 kilometer? If 10 kilometer alone is less than 100 kilometer, 10 kilometer will be surely less than 100 plus some other kilometer. Let's say 20. Now don't say, Rahul, you have taken 20 on the right hand side, so why you have not done minus? Not about minus plus. I'm just trying to say your logic. If 10 kilometer alone is less than 100 kilometer, will 10 kilometer be less than 100 plus some other kilometer for sure? So here what I see, T1 plus T2 is less than T3. Can I straight away say T1 will surely be less than T3? If T1 alone is less than T3, T1 will surely be less than T3 plus some other number. Let's say that is T2. So option number 1 sufficient. Option number 2 is nothing saying you, but T1 is less than T3. So this is also D. Just imagine one thing, to be very clear. T1 plus T2 is less than T3. 10 plus 20 is less than 100. 10 will surely be less than 100. So T1 will surely be less than T3. If T1 alone is less than T3, T1 will surely be less than T3 plus some other number. That's it. Question is done. D is the right answer. And if you don't use this method, then you will have to convert everything. So what exactly that means? That mod of Y minus A is what? It says Y minus A is greater than 0. From the
Rahul,
given
can you
question.
explain it again?
Yeah, which one?
The whole T1 3T concept.
So no, I'm just trying to say you here, Kashish, that we have read the mod x is what? Is nothing but x minus 0, right? That is distance between point x and point 0.
Yeah.
I'm just using the distance concept over here. Distance
Okay.
between point x and point 0, right, Kashish?
Yeah. Yeah,
Imagine
okay.
if I say x minus 5, it is nothing but distance between point x and point 5, right? So exactly same thing I've used over here. It says is y minus a less than y minus b. It is given to me a is less than y is less than z is less than b. So I've drawn a figure a, y, z, b, right? I've assumed, let's say distance between y and a is t1, y and z is t2, and y and t and b is t3, right?
Yeah.
My question is what is y minus a less than y minus b? So what is y minus a t1, right?
T1.
And y minus b is what? T2 plus t3.
Yeah.
Question is
Okay.
t1 less than t2 plus
Figured.
t3.
Understood. Bas.
And option number 1 I have just done y minus z minus a is less than z minus b. So option number 1 says t1 plus t2 is less than t3. If sum of two numbers are less than a third number, then the first number will surely be less than third number. All I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is t1 plus t2 is less than t3. Imagine t1 is 10 kilometer, t2 is 20 kilometer. So 10 kilometer plus 20 kilometer is less than 100 kilometer. So 10 kilometer alone will surely be less than 100 kilometer, right? And 10 kilometer will surely be less than 100 kilometer plus some other kilometer, let's say 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
So exactly same thing. If T1 plus T2 is less than T3, T1 is surely less than T3. And if T1 is less than T3, T1 is surely less than T3 plus some other distance. I've considered this as T2. Now you can't argue with me, Rahul, you have taken T2 on the right hand side, so why it is not minus, why plus? I'm not doing minus plus over here. I'm just trying to say you ki 10 kilometer alone is less than 100 kilometer. So 10 kilometer will surely be less than 100 plus some other kilometer. Right?
Yeah.
Any doubt?
No, done.
Because if you do not follow this, it will be a tough one. It will be again, what you need to do is, you will have to change the question because it says y minus a is greater than 0. So what is mod of y minus a? Y minus a less than y minus b from the given question is less than 0. So mod of y minus a will become negative of y minus b. So it is y minus a less than minus y plus b. That is 2y less than a plus b. Or is y less than a plus b by 2. Again, you'll have to evaluate this, you'll have to
Yeah.
conclusion, you'll have to evaluate this and this. So it will be something that can be done in 20 seconds. You will take easily 3 to 4 minutes. Question number 12, please. Take 2 minutes for this. I would say 1 minute is also sufficient, but still try.
Is it C?
See, no. For option number 2, what yes or no situation you got? It's simple. Is mod of x minus y greater than mod x minus mod y? We cannot say this until we are sure about the values of x and y. Simple understanding from the question. And there should be a bit of understanding from the question for sure in order for you to conclude something. So option number 1 says y is less than x. I'm not sure about what is value of y and value of x. Imagine if I take y as 5 and x as 10. Do I get this? I'll get 5 is greater than 5. No situation. But imagine if I take y is equal to negative 5 and x is equal to 10. I'll get 15 greater than 5. That is a yes situation. So option number 1 is not sufficient. Now for option number 2, what have you got, Mank? Yes or no situation? Because option number 2 says xy is less than 0. It simple means if x is positive, y is negative. If x is negative, y is positive. And I've always told you that when you are taking values, you should 100% concentrate on the question. Question says mod of x minus y. Tell me over here, either you take x positive, y negative. Will this add up? Yes or no?
Yes.
If I take x negative and y positive,
It will add up.
will this again add up here, right?
Right.
And mod x minus mod y will always be subtracted. There is no, you take
Right.
anything, x positive, negative does not matter at all. X positive, negative, y positive, negative, it does not matter because you are subtracting positive number minus positive number. Mod x
Right.
is always positive, mod y is always positive, irrespective of what is the sign of x and y, doesn't matter to me. And addition is
Right.
always greater than subtraction. So option number 2, you take any value of x and y, does not matter. This will suffice for sure. So I can say this is sufficient. I have just tried to generalize it that whatsoever value you take, it does not matter. Mod of x minus y will always add up, and mod x minus mod y will always get subtracted. So I generally don't have to take some values and check if you are in position to understand this. But if you are not understanding it, then you take any value of x and y. You take either positive value, ensure that you take x and y should be of opposite sign because it says xy is less than 0. And you put it over here, it will be always.
Hi,
So,
Rahul. Just a
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
So actually, I solved it using variables. So don't you think that variables is also a good approach here? Like, it's not a
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? So there is no certain approach, Neha, in the sense that if you find yourself comfortable with this, it's fine. If you find yourself comfortable with numbers, it's fine. But if it in question ever it is given, okay, if x is less than 0, what is the value of root x, mod x and all? In that case, do not play around with the variable. Always take questions and go ahead. Always take numbers and go ahead with it. So it's absolutely not an issue what method you solve and what method you should follow. No, even if your method takes 1 minute more time, you give that time to it and solve it by your methods only. There's something that you are comfortable with. You should just ensure that get the answers right, Neha. That's it. Okay? You can take a multiple values. You can take 3-4 values, and moment you take 3-4 values, you will understand the nature of this question for sure. That whatever value you take x plus positive minus. So no issues at all. You can do anything whatever you want to. Question number 13. Simple one. Take 1 minute, please.
Is the answer B?
B.
No.
No?
Mhm. Not B. These questions, if you all do mistake, what want to know how much point will you get? So read properly. It says x mod y is not a positive number. It means it can be 0 or negative, right? X
Zero.
square is a
Right.
positive number from here. So x can be positive or negative, not sufficient. Because the question asking is x a negative number. Option number 2 says x mod y can either be 0 or negative number. Imagine I take x is equal to negative 2, y is equal to 0. I get x mod y is equal to 0. Imagine I take x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2. I get x mod y is still 0. Imagine I take x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. I get x mod y is still 0. यहाँ पे you can take anything. Y is equal to 2, you take x mod y, you will get a negative value. So it will be easy for you to understand because it says x mod y can be 0 or negative. See, I've taken 3 different values of x. And my x mod y is coming as negative also, it is coming as 0 also. I'm not invalidating my statement at all. My statement still remains valid even if I assume x is equal to negative or I assume x is equal to 0 or positive. It doesn't matter at all. So from option number 2, x can be negative, positive, 0. Even if you combine these two, x can still be positive or negative. So answer is E. Agreed? Any doubt? Ashish, clear?
Yes, Rahul.
1 second. I think I just have one question to ask here.
Please tell me.
Yeah, so they are saying it is not a positive number, okay? So
Yeah.
in what case how will the question be if suppose it has to be a, like if they are really talking about something like if the answer has to be B, then how the question will change? I'm just asking you out of
If the answer
curiosity.
has to be,
If the answer has to be B, okay, then how this question is gonna change? Like what kind of statement will they ask here? I'm just asking out of curiosity if you find it like little matlab,
so
it's
it
not
is a
valid.
negative number. X mod y is a negative number.
Okay.
If it's a negative number, it means x mod y is equal to negative value. So it can be
Okay.
negative value only when this is to
This
one mod
is
y is
ha, ha,
100%
ha.
positive.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take any value of y,
yeah.
negative, positive, doesn't matter at all. Mod y is always positive. So for
Okay.
this to be negative, x should be a negative value. Only then
Okay.
you can say
Or
that x
either
is
they
negative.
say that it is not a positive number and also not equal to 0. So then it will
Yeah.
be B.
They should straight away say it's a negative value. Because when they are saying it's not a positive, because a number line, you have a negative number, you have a 0, you have a positive number. So 0 is neither negative nor positive, 0 is an independent element. In case of a even number, you can say 0 is a even number, 10 is a even number. But in number line, there are 3 elements. One is negative, one is 0, one is positive. So 0 has nothing to do with positive or negative. 0 is neither negative nor positive, it's an independent element. So when you say it is a non-positive number, it means it could be 0 or negative. When they say non-negative number, it can be 0 or positive. But if they have to tell only positive number, they'll write it over there. It's a positive number, it's a negative number. But they will not write x is, when they say this is not a positive number, it simple means it could be 0 or negative because 0 is an independent element on it. Okay? 0 is neither negative nor positive. That's absolutely fine, yeah. Nothing to worry. Question number 14. Simple, very simple question. Take a minute, please.
Is it A?
A, but A doesn't define that X is positive or negative. Take a
Ah,
negative value and you'll realize.
Is it C, Rahul?
Yeah.
C.
Well, it's pretty simple. No? They are just asking you that 2 cross 2 is equal to 2 cross 2. They're ensuring that left side should be greater. When it will be greater? At least when you take one number which is greater than 2. They're asking you y cross y is equal to y cross y. Now they're asking you to make this left side greater. So you'll have to multiply a number x which is actually greater than y, but ensure that everything should be in terms of positive, man. Always. Because if you do not take positive, if you don't take positive, if you take a negative number, this will flip up completely. You wanna say yes or no situation. So imagine if I take 10 greater than 5. Now if I put here, this is satisfying. But imagine if I take minus 5 greater than minus 10 also, right, man? Now if you put over here, it won't happen.
right. True.
Minus 5 into 10 greater than minus 10 square. Impossible. This is minus 50 greater than 100. Not possible. So we have to ensure that you take any number, the combination should be taken. You take x greater than y, absolutely fine. And option number 2 says y greater than 0. If y is greater than 0, and if x is greater than y, then x is also positive and x is greater than y. Then this is 100% fine. Proceed. It's straightforward. Question number 15, we did it, I think, in the first question. Option number 1 says x lies between -2 and +2. I can say not sufficient. Option number 2 says mod x is equal to 3x minus 2. If you find out the value, you will get x is equal to 1 or half. When you take half, it's not a valid solution. When you take 1, it's a valid solution. So we did it right in the first place. So B. Try question number 16. Good one. Now it's up to you. You want to solve the equation, you want to take numbers, whatever you want to do. It's a good question. Please try. Take 2 minutes, please.
Is it A option, Rahul?
A, no. So what exactly have you done? Are you trying to evaluate x or you simply try to solve this particular equation? I've told you if the equation is fractional, cubic, you should always try and solve it. So can I solve this equation by saying x by mod x is less than x? Can I cross multiply this mod x? Because this is 100% positive. I'm very sure about this. I can't cross multiply. I can't bring x by x mod x. I can't cross multiply this, but this mod x can be cross multiplied for sure because mod x is positive. Can I say x is less than x mod x? Or can I say x minus x mod x is less than 0? Now imagine, can I say x into 1 minus mod x? Sometime we should go with the flow of a question. So let's say this is AB is less than 0. AB less than 0 means what? There are two cases. Case 1, if A is greater than 0, that is if X is greater than 0, then 1 minus mod X should be less than 0. That is minus mod X should be less than minus 1. That is mod X should be greater than 1. Case 2 is what? If X is less than 0, if A is negative, then B should be positive. That is 1 minus mod X should be greater than 0. That is minus mod X greater than negative 1. That is mod X is less than 1. So my question is mod X less than 1? That is nothing but does X lies between negative 1 and 1. But if I say is mod X less than 1, I have got from option number 1 mod X is greater than 1 also, mod X is less than 1 also. Can I say it is not sufficient? Check. Option number 2 says what? X is negative. In data sufficiency, always remember there's only one. Any type, the question may belong from any chapter. If at all the question is a bit tricky, only one statement will be tricky, other statement will be super easy. Mod X greater than X simple means X is negative. If X is negative, it may lie between 1 and negative 1, it may not lie between 1 and negative 1. So it may be negative half, it may be negative 5. So both satisfy this. So this is not sufficient. But when I combine now, then it says X is negative. Option number 2 says X positive negative. Can I say negative term, common term out, and for X negative, mod X is less than 1. Even if you take numbers and do, it will exactly be the same thing. Exactly. Numbers in the sense you will have to evaluate this, that two cases of mod X is equal to X, if X is greater than equal to 0, X cancel, X is less than 1, mod X is equal to negative X when X is less than 0. So you will have to just find out your value. We can find out values from here also, no? Mod X, see here, X is 0, mod X greater than 1 means what? Mod X greater than 1 means X could be less than negative 1 or X could be greater than positive 1. So let's say this is negative 1, this is positive 1. You won't have to do this, will complicate it. Mod X less than negative 1. So this is one value. X greater than positive 1, this is one value. X greater than 0, this is one value. So the common value is X greater than 1. You will have to find a common value for this as well. And then you will have to combine and find a common value. So whether you take values or you can just simply, this expression should also work. Because I've got from statement number 1 mod X greater than 1, mod X less than 1. I can say this is not sufficient. Option number 2 says X is negative. My question is, does X lies between negative 1 and 1? Not sufficient. And when I combine this, option number 2 says X is negative. Option number 1 says X is positive also, negative also. So negative value, common term out. And for X negative, mod X is less than 1. So you cannot see it.
Rahul, I got the
Yeah.
answer C, but can we solve it like if X is positive in first statement? If X is positive,
Yeah.
it becomes X greater than 1, which is no. And if X is negative, it becomes X greater than minus 1, which is a yes situation.
But X
Can we
greater than, no, X greater than minus 1, right?
Minus 1.
But this will only satisfy for minus 1 and 0.
Yeah.
So option number 1 is again not sufficient, right?
I got the answer, but can we solve it like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? That's what I was telling. Okay? Even if I take numbers over here, Preeti, at this place, I'll get exactly the same thing. So imagine, I just take one number. So imagine my first situation is what? X is greater than 0, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to plot case 1 into the graph, into the number line. So this is 0. X greater than 1 means what, Preeti? X can be less than negative 1 or X can be greater than positive 1, right?
Positive 1, yes.
So if I put here negative 1 and if I put here positive 1, it says X greater than 0. I have this, right? And then it says X is less than negative 1. Like this is the one. X is less than negative 1 or X is greater than positive 1. So X is less than negative 1 is this, X greater than positive 1 is this. My common value X greater than 1 is out. If you plot this, you will get again a value. So I can say X is greater than 1 satisfying and X lies between negative 1 and 0, that also satisfies, and that's the reason I can say it is net. It's not sufficient, right?
Yes. Okay.
And option number 2 says that X is negative, so I can't take the positive case at all. So X lies between negative 1 and 0.
Understood.
But yeah, we don't have to plot it at all. If at all someone, this is the easier way to go ahead with it. Anyone, any doubt? Harin, is this clear? Kashish,
Yeah.
Neha, is this clear?
Yeah,
17th
yeah,
number.
absolutely.
Let's 17th number, please. Take a minute. You can't take more than a minute. Even 20 seconds is more than sufficient. One second, is modern less than 4? Option number 1 says what? Modern is greater than 4. Confirm no answer. Sufficient. Question simple is asking x does n lie between negative 4 and 4. Option number 1 says mod n greater than 4. I can say x does not lie between negative 4 and 4. Mod n greater than 4 means n is less than negative 4 or n is greater than 4. 1 by mod n greater than n. Now don't start solving this, please. You can 100% solve n mod n less than 1 and all these things you can do. But understand what is the question. Does n lie between negative 4 and positive 4? 1 by mod n greater than n. Is it possible for all the negative values of n? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's it. So if it is possible for all the negative value, n could be negative 3, n could be negative 10 both. So not sufficient. You can 100% try and solve it. Rahul, n could be less than 1. This equation is also possible for fractional value. That's all fine. But my question is what? Does n lie between negative 4 and 4? I can say 1 by mod n greater than n. I'm 100% sure this is possible for all the negative values of n. I can say n could be negative 3. This equation satisfies. N could be negative 10. This equation satisfies. When it is negative 3, it lies between 4 and negative 4. When it is negative 10, it does not lie. So I have a yes and no situation. I can say not so good. So A is my answer. Straightforward. Any doubt? Please tell. Question number 18. Tricky one. A bit tougher one also. You can take 2 minutes for this. No rush. You can take in fact 3 minutes also for this question.
Rahul, I have a doubt in the previous question you discussed.
Yeah, please tell me.
So I took it like whether the n lies between -4 and 4. Okay. So n square greater than 16.
Hmm.
So I took it as that n could be greater than 4 or n could be less than -4.
Yeah, this is now this one.
Yeah,
So confirm no answer. It can never lie between 4 and negative 4. My question is, does n lies between negative 4 and 4? You are telling me n
Yes.
never lies. So
Okay.
confirm no. Is your name Rahul Aran? You have answered no.
Mhm.
Right. Try again, Sambo.
Will it be C, Rahul?
C, no. Option number 2 is straight away not sufficient, right? Because I can exactly use this particular information to solve option number 2. I have told you in the last class that if there is any information that is given to you in the question and that information is in terms of equation, the statement is in terms of equation, we can close our eyes and solve this. So I can just cut 2 mod x is equal to 48. Mod x becomes 24. If I put it over here, I'll get mod y is equal to 8. So if mod x is 24, x will be plus or minus 24. And if mod y is 8, y would be plus or minus 8. So value of x, y could be 24 into 8 or 24 into minus 8. Not sufficient. Anyone, any doubt, please tell me. Because I did nothing. There was information that is given to me in the question. I've used that particular information to solve statement number 2 because it was exactly in the same format. So I found out that x can be plus or minus 24, y could be plus or minus 8. And what is the value of xy? Xy could be 24 into 8 or 24 into negative 8. That's it. There are 2 different values I'm getting, so it's not sufficient. Anyone, any doubt? Parend, Kashish? Mang?
No.
Now come down to statement number 1. Statement number 1, I cannot use the information the way I used it with statement number 2 because in information the equations are given in terms of mod, and in a statement it's a plain equation. But what I can realize from here is that can I say x is equal to minus 3y? From statement number 1, will I get this value x is equal to minus 3y?
Yes. Yes.
So what can you conclude from here? That x and y are of opposite sign. Why I am doing this, I'll tell you. Of opposite sign. Because now I'll have 2 cases, x positive, y negative. The point is we need to 100% use this particular information to solve statement number 1. But we can't simply add and subtract. Why? Because the formats are different. It isn't given in terms of mod. This is a linear equation without any mods in it. The point is if you blindly go and evaluate the expression, the information that is given to you in the question, it will take 4 cases. X plus y 32, x minus y 32, minus x plus y 32, minus x minus y 32. Why should you be doing that at all? First of all, because option number 1 says x and y are of opposite sign. Now, can I evaluate my information based on statement number 1? Because option number 1 says I can conclude with option number 1 that x and y are of opposite side. Can I take case 1 when x is positive and y is negative? If x is positive, what is the value of mod x? X, right? If y is negative, what is the value of mod y? Negative y. This is equal to 32. I know that x is equal to negative 3y. Please keep the value over here. It becomes negative 4y. This is equal to 32. So y is equal to what? Minus 8. If you place it over here, you will get x is equal to 24. Xy is minus 8 into 24. Now I'll take case 2. Because I know from statement number 1 that x and y are of opposite sign. Now in case 2, what I'll take? X is less than 0 and y is greater than 0. Now if x is less than 0, what is the value of mod x? Negative x plus y greater than 0, what is the value of mod y? Positive y is equal to 32. I know that x is equal to negative 3y. So this becomes 3y and this is 4y is equal to 32. So y is equal to what? 8. If you put it over here, you will get x is equal to minus 24. So xy in this case is what? Minus 24 into 8. So technically both are same values, Priti. So I can say statement number 1 is sufficient. Because we have got the same value. Check please. Priti?
Hi Rahul, one second.
Yeah, please take it.
So Rahul, if we're assuming certain, it's clearly given that x and y are non-zero integers, and if you are assuming some numbers for this x and y, and if we solve using numbers, will that be a better approach of this one?
You can't solve by using numbers. How will you be able to solve by using numbers? Because there's information given to you that mod x plus mod y is equal to 32. What are the numbers that will give you 32?
It's more like one you take as 16, the other one like 16. Okay, let me say it's not given that x and y are not equal, right? So suppose I take 16, then.
But what will you do by taking 16, 16? Because statement number 1, how will you use it with statement number 1 and statement number 2?
Okay.
Can't do it by number. No way. You'll have to go ahead algebraically. If I told you think of numbers, think in the simple linear equation, Neha, not in the mods one. Never ever.
Okay.
It is simply complicated. Anyone, any doubt? Statement number 1, 2 straight away not sufficient. Statement number 1, we didn't do anything. We have just come down to a conclusion from a statement number 1 that x and y are of opposite side. So these are the only two cases that I'm bothered about, when x is positive, y is negative. And when x is negative, y is positive. Now, when x is positive, y is negative, I'm trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to evaluate my information that is given to me, that when x is positive and y is negative, my information mod x plus mod y is equal to 32 would become x minus y, because for x greater than 0, mod x is x, and for y less than 0, mod y would be negative y. So x minus y is equal to 32. Now I've just put the values of x minus 3y from statement 1 to information, and then y is equal to minus 8. I've got y is equal to minus 8. I put it over here. I'll get x is equal to 24. 6y is 8 minus 24. In case 2, I've just done opposite. When I've taken x negative and y positive. So when x negative, y positive, I have evaluated my information. It comes as minus x plus y is equal to 32. X is given as minus 3y to you in statement number 1. Just use this. You will get 4y is equal to 32. Y is equal to 8. You plug it over here. You will get x is equal to minus 24. So xy in statement number 1, in both the cases, we have got xy as minus 24 into it. That's it. Any doubt? Hank, Harendra, Priti, is this clear?
Yes, Rahul.
19th number. Now all are pretty logical questions. 19th to 27th. You can actually solve questions without touching pen and paper. Try. Question number 19. Take a minute, please. But these questions should do your mod logic fine. And listen, tomorrow in essay theory, let's finish the theory in 1 hour, please, so that we can give 2 hours to question. Please, please, please. So please read question number 32, 50 properly. Read it one time today.
Sorry, Rahul, what did you say?
In tomorrow's class, let's finish the essay theory in 1 hour, please.
Okay.
Question number 32, 50, so that we can concentrate 1.5 hours to 2 hours on the question. That's important. So please, every one of you read the essay theory question number 32, 50 very properly, so that we finish it on time within an hour. So what is this question? Option number 1 is not sufficient. One equation, 2 variable. It is practically impossible that option number 1 will ever be sufficient. Not sufficient. Why? They are asking you value of y. You don't know the value of x at all. For every different values of x, you will have different values of y. So it is impossible that it is not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? Now please don't start solving this equation. Simple. This is a pretty simple equation. If you put y is equal to 14, you will get LHS is equal to RHS. If you put y is equal to minus 8, you will get LHS is equal to RHS. So these are valid solutions. Don't start solving it. The small equations. That case 1, case 2, this, that, nothing. 14. So option number 2 gives you 2 different values, not sufficient. Option number 1 is 100% not sufficient. What is the minimum thing that I can derive from option number 1? Tell me, can I say the left hand side value will always be positive and the minimum value of this will be 0?
Y greater than or equal to 2.
Absolutely right. Because x square minus 4 is inside mod. So this value can never ever be negative. Just impossible. Plus 3 is again a positive value. So plus 3 into a positive value will always be positive. The minimum value that left hand side can take is where x is equal to 2. When x is equal to 2, left hand side value is 0. That is 0 is equal to y minus 2 and y is equal to 2. Any other value of x you take on the left hand side except for 2, the value of y that you will get is greater than equal to 2. So I'm 100% sure that this is not sufficient. But am I very sure that the value of y has to be greater than equal to 2? The minimum value of y can be 2. If you keep changing the value of x, the other value you may be getting of y doesn't matter at all, but it will be greater than 2 for sure. Now, when you combine, option number 1 says y is greater than equal to 2. Option number 2 says y is equal to 14 or minus 8. So y is equal to 14. Straightforward. This is pure mod logic. It's got nothing to do. You're solving a scale and all doesn't matter at all. Question number 20. Take a minute, please. Don't start solving it, please. Is x greater than 0? This is what 100% positive. Minimum value of left hand side can be what? 0. Can I say 4x minus 3 is greater than equal to 0? X greater than equal to 3 by 4. If x is greater than equal to 3 by 4, x is greater than 0. Sufficient. This place, if you put x is equal to 2, left hand side is equal to right hand side. If you put x is equal to 0, left hand side is equal to right hand side. My question is, what is x greater than 0? This is a no situation. This is a yes situation. Not sufficient. If you try to solve this particular equation, you will get two values, x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 0. But x is equal to 0 would be invalid value. Because when you put x is equal to 0 over here, 3 is equal to not negative. So option number A is the right answer. Anyone, any doubt? To solve this, if you solve this, x plus minus 3 is equal to 2x minus 3 and x minus 3 is equal to negative of 2x minus 3, you will get x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 0. After nothing, simple, mod A equal to mod B is either A equal to B or A equal to negative B. Both values are valid values. And those are the values I've got x is equal to 2 and 0. Now my question is x greater than 0? When x is equal to 0, it's a no situation. When x is equal to 2, it's a yes situation. So not sufficient, and option number A is sufficient. Anyone, any doubt? Kashish, is this clear?
Yes, Rahul.
21 number, please. Don't start solving it by mistake also, please. Use logic.
Is the answer D, Rahul?
B or D?
D for Delhi.
Huh.
Either of the two.
D for Delhi. So option number 1 says what? X square plus 16 is equal to 32, right? Now don't start evaluating mod x. Just tell me for what value of x square left hand side can be equal to right hand side? Only when x square is equal to 16, right? Or do you think any case anything else? Only when x square is equal to 16, left hand side can be equal to right hand side. So if you take root both the sides, mod x is equal to 3. That's it. Sufficient. This says you x square minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. That is x minus 4 whole square is equal to 0. X is equal to 4, so mod x is also 4. Sufficient. So D. And moreover, here you don't have to evaluate also. If you look into the logics also, mod says what? That internal elements are always positive, right? X square as a term is always positive, plus 16 is always positive. Mods are there for what? To ensure that internal elements remain positive. So here internal element is by default positive. Mod need not be there at all. So I can just remove this and solve the question. That's it. Sufficient. Any doubt? Neha, is this clear?
Yeah.
Kashish?
Yes,
Question number 22. Try. Take a minute. These are all logical questions. It should not take more than 1 minute at all. Very logical. Acha, tell me, did you people do at least 20-30 unseen questions from inequalities? Priti, you did?
Yes, Rahul, I did. I tried GMAT Club.
Okay. Today I'll anyway give you the extra. Neha, did you do practice questions?
Yeah, yeah, I had done that time only.
Perfect. Man, Harendra, you people did.
Yeah, I tried some 10-15 questions from GMAT Club.
It's happening, right?
Some of them are, some of them are
You
not.
don't look into the explanations at all. Please be very sure about that, Harendra. It's not happening, let it not happen. You keep thinking on that, but don't by mistake also look into explanations at all. Try 23. What the answer? The question is R square less than mod R?
Is
Please tell. Both are positive entities. R greater than -1. Imagine I take R is equal to -half. R square is technically less than mod R, yes. Imagine I take R is equal to 2. Because R greater than -1, I can take anything. R square less than mod R. No, not sufficient. Straightforward. And same thing for second statement. R is less than 1. I can take R is equal to negative half. Yes situation. R is less than 1. I can take R is equal to negative 2. You take positive to negative 2. Please understand R square is positive, mod R is positive. So if I take R is equal to negative 2, R square less than mod R, I have no situation. So not sufficient. So individually these statements are not sufficient. When you combine, what happened? R lies between negative and 1. They are very clearly, subtly mentioned over here. They have subtly mentioned over here that R is not equal to 0. So you can't take R is equal to 0. You take any number between negative 1 and 1, except for 0. R square is less than mod R. See. Correct. Question number 23, please. Simple question. Should not bother you at all.
Is the answer B to this, Rahul?
B.
B
No.
option.
No. Might have marked right. B is the right for sure, but answer is not B. Why is not A? A is also right answer, right? A is also sufficient. Why it's not sufficient? So it says that x and y are positive integers, is x a prime number. So it's x minus 2 is less than 2 minus y. Option number 1 says what? X minus 2 lie between? Simple, mod x less than a means what? X lies between negative and positive. So x minus 2 lie between negative of 2 minus y and positive 2 minus y. I'm doing nothing, I'm just following this. But that is nothing but minus 2 plus y less than x minus 2 less than 2 minus y. I have to find the value of x. So if I add plus 2 from the entire equation, what I get? Y less than x and less than 4 minus y. Imagine if I take y is equal, they are telling x and y are positive integers. So Neha, when they say you positive integer, it means 0 will not be considered at all. So positive integer means 1 to infinity, not 0. So if I take y is equal to 1, x lies between what? 1 and 3. If x lies between 1 and 3, x is equal to 2. This is a prime number. If y I take as 2, x lies between 2 and 2, there is no any such number which lies between 2 and 2, invalid situation. If I take y is equal to 3, x lies between 3 and 1. But please understand, a number cannot be greater than 3 and less than 1. This is again an invalid situation. So there is only one situation that exists, x is equal to 2 is a prime. Check. Option number 2 says what? I have to get the value of x because they are asking me is x a prime number. So take x one side, rest all the values. So can I say x is equal to mod of 1 minus y minus y plus 3. You take any value of y here, it does not matter at all. You will get x is equal to 2. Take whatever value you want to take of y, but ensure that it should be positive integer. Just ensure y should be a positive integer. Don't take 0 and negative value because they have given to you in the question. So this is sufficient. So D. Any value you take of y, does not matter at all. You take 1, you take 2, you take 100, you take 1000, you will get x is equal to 2. Okay. Is this clear? Any doubt?
So actually, I was saying that if we solve, like if we assume the values of x and y from the beginning, and then solve the equation by putting it directly inside that this what do we say, a modulus, will that be a wrong approach here?
No,
Because I
absolutely
feel
fine.
I'm arriving at an answer.
Because I'm doing same thing now. I'm asking you to put any value of y and you get the value of. If at all you want to
like-
solve it algebraically, you can solve it because it says
No,
x
no,
and y.
I'm saying here that you have opened this bracket, okay, and then you're putting the values there, right? So what I did was I assumed two values and I started putting inside the modulus itself.
So what are the values you assume?
So suppose first value which I took of x is suppose 4, okay,
Hmm.
and y I took as 8.
So 2 is less than minus 6. Not possible. You can't take these values.
So that's how if we repeat like using the pair of values.
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine.
That is fine.
There is
I
only
think
one value
is-
that will come. Y is equal to 1. That's it.
So that's the reason I'm asking you ki,
Yeah,
we can use that approach.
Absolutely. Any approach. 100%. Just ensure that you get the answer right. There's no issues at all, man. Whatever you want, you can do. Just ensure karna ki answer is right. And obviously logic as well. Question number 24, please. Take a minute.
Rahul, can you see the previous question?
Previous one. Okay, man.
Not clear on the second one.
Which one? Second statement.
Yeah.
So yeah, what values you put? Tell. What value y you have taken? I'm telling you here, man, that x is equal to negative mod of 1 minus y plus 3, right?
Right.
I'm telling you, you take any value. It says ki y, x and y are positive integers. I'm asking you to take any value of y. It does not matter. And if you don't want to this, you can solve it also, by the way. So it says that x and y are positive. Mod of 1 minus y is what? Considering that y is a positive integer.
Right.
Tell me. Will it be negative 1 minus y? Minus
Yep.
y plus 3. So negative 1 plus y minus y plus 3. Negative cancel 2. See. You can 100% solve it, but I'm a bit. I say people to take numbers because there will be no confusion at all. In solving, if you write in place of 1 minus 5, positive 1 minus 5, everything will be wrong. That's the reason I'm a bit skeptical in going ahead with algebraic method. But if you are very clear, you can 100% so do it. Because it says x and y are positive integers. For x and y positive, mod of 1 minus y is nothing but negative of 1 minus y.
Right.
Either you do or you simply place your values. It does not matter at all. Any value, whatever positive value you want to place, you place. You will get x is equal to 2. That's for sure. You take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The moment you place 3, 4 values, you will understand how it is behaving.
Right.
Question number 24, please.
E option, Rahul.
E, yeah. So it says mod of x minus 1 is less than 1. It means x minus 1 lies between negative 1 and 1. Right? That is, if I add plus 1, my question is, does x lies between 0 and 2? Option number 1 says what? X minus 1, mod of x minus 1 is less than equal to 1. So x minus 1 lies between negative 1 and positive 1. I'm doing nothing. I'm just using this formula everywhere. If I add plus 1, x lies between 0 and 2. But option number 1, my question is what? Does x lies between 0 and 2? Option number 1, x can be equal to 2 also, x can be less than 2 also. So I say it is not sufficient. Am I clear? Anyone, any doubt? Kashish? Neha?
No, Rahul.
And option number 2 says what? X square is greater than 1. That is, if I take root both this side, mod x is greater than 1. If mod x is greater than 1, x could be less than negative 1, or x could be greater than 1. But if x is greater than 1, x can be 2, 3, 4. And my question is does x is lies between 0 and 1? From here, I can't say x lies between 0 and 1. 0 or 2 only, not sufficient. Even if you combine, x can still be 2 because it says x is greater than 1, x is less than equal to 2. Even if I combine this, x can still be 2 or less than 2. So I can say nothing is sufficient at all. These are no questions at all. These are the questions to play around with your mind. This is absolutely not a question where you use your head, where you need a deep thought process at all. It is just you are playing around with the numbers question, something like that. Question number 25.
Rahul, one question.
Yep, please tell me.
In 24, like the part 1, x minus 1 whole square less than equal to 1. So I presume when you explained, you were taking around square root of it, right? So it's mod x minus 1 less than equal to 1, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, can't we say x minus 1 mod is less than equal to plus minus 1? Because we are taking the square root on both sides, right?
So, to have told you, root 4 is just 2, never minus 2. So, root 1 is just 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Never ever minus 1 because because it's tested only on real numbers, man. Imaginary numbers are not tested. So, roots are always positive, always and always.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 25. These are not questions at all, I'm telling you. These are just to play around with mod. That's it. But a beautiful question to build up your mod. Very basic concepts of mod. What exactly is a mod? Simple question, guys. Question is what? Mod A greater than M is A negative. Option number 1 says you what? A square minus A is less than 0. That is A into A minus 1 is less than 0. That is A lies between 0 and 1. Is A less than 0? Option number 1 say A lies between 0 and 1. Confirm, no answer. Sufficient. Here it says A by 2 is greater than 2 by A. Imagine if I take A is equal to 3. So 3 by 2 is greater than 2 by 3. Yes. Imagine I take A is equal to negative 1. Negative half is greater than negative 2. 2 by negative 1. My question is A negative? A can be positive, A can be negative. Not sufficient. Option number 1 gives you confirm yes answer. These are no questions at all. This is just a mind stuff. Question number 26, please. Says what is mod x is equal to 1. Option number 1 says what? Is mod x is equal to 1 means what? Does x is equal to plus or minus 1? This is my question. To take any value y does not matter at all. X will be equal to either plus 1 or minus 1. Sufficient. Mod x is equal to negative x. It means x is negative. It may be minus 1. It may not be minus 1. My question is what? Is x is equal to plus or minus 1? So it is a straightforward answer. Anyone, any doubt? Last question, 27. Take 2 minutes. Do not start solving it. Please, please, please. They are asking what is the value of x. It says x minus x square is equal to 2. Please understand, if you take x is equal to 3, it is 3 minus 3 square. That is 9 minus 3. That is equal to 6. You will not get 2. So what is the possibilities that you will get 2? Either you can put 2 or 0 sorry, 2 or 1 or 0 or -1 or -2. That's it. These are the only values you can put, because if you put 3 minus 3 square, that is 9 minus 3 is 6. If you put 3 square minus 3, 9 minus 3, again it is 6. Makes no sense at all. So you have to choose such values for which left hand side will give you right hand side that is equal to 2. So I have, these are the only values that I can put. So imagine, do not start solving it. It will be an absolute waste of time, because the numbers are pretty small. So we'll be able to get it. If I put x is equal to 2 over here, so 2 minus 2 square is -2, mod of -2 is 2. This is fine, absolutely fine. If I put 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, gone. 0 minus 0 is gone. If I put -1, -1, -1, -2, if statement number 1 will suffice for x is equal to 2 and -1. They're asking what is values of x, not sufficient to have two different values. Statement number 2 now. Put x is equal to 2, 2 square minus 2, 4 minus 2 is 2, left hand side is equal to right hand side, so x is equal to 2. If I put -2 is again -4, sorry, 4 and -2 is 2. X is equal to 2 and -2, again not sufficient. But now here you have x is equal to 2 minus 1, you have x is equal to plus 2 minus 2. If you combine this, you will get x is equal to 2. So see, do not start solving this. It's of no use. You might 100% solve, get the answer as well. No big deal. But you don't require it to solve. You don't need it to solve. Is that clear? So this finishes. So now it's done. You don't have to go mad. Absolute value. So what I'll do in the night today is that I'll forward you extra questions also of maths. And tomorrow after the class, I'll explain you how to solve extra questions of math. But I'll forward the mail today. And tomorrow I'll explain it to you how should you solve the extra questions of math. So I'll discuss with you tomorrow for sure. So today night I'll forward you the, so please understand, like we are done with the inequalities. We are done with the absolute value. Next class we'll have statistic. Very simple chapter. We'll finish it off. But after stats, number system will take 2 classes to complete it. It's actually a chapter of 1 class, but still will take 2 class so that you have some time to go and clear your backlog. I don't want to simply rush it up at all. So next is a statistic class, which is pretty simple, very practical chapter, very simple chapter. I can tell you. I'll send you the entire materials. After stats, we have number system, which will complete in 2 class. Or what we can do is that we can take 1 complete week break so that you have a good amount of time to cover all your backlogs, and we can finish number system in 1 class. Or we can do half, like 1.5 hour class for 2 days and finish number system in 15 days. So I'll give you time at this place for sure to cover your backlogs. But if at all you have done like 15 to 20 questions of inequality, is pretty good. Tomorrow I'll tell you inequalities and absolute value combined. If you do 15 to 20 questions, it's absolutely fine. Because for stats, you don't have to study a lot. Even if you start studying stats on Thursday, Friday, 2 days are more than sufficient to study stats. Till Wednesday, we can keep Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, till Wednesday, we can keep working on inequalities and absolute value. You can keep working on. Tomorrow, I'll give you a detailed plan for sure as to how should you go about stats. And also the extra questions I'll give you. So now you don't have to go to GMAT club. You will have extra questions, complete that. Wherever you are trapped in extra question, put that question to GMAT club and solve it. But in GMAT club, if you want to solve very hard question, GMAT club is the only place. There is no other place that you will get a very hard question. But you do that when you are 100% fine with the basics questions of the chapter. Is that clear? Any doubt? Anyone, any doubt, please tell me. Fine. Perfect. Then we'll close the session for today. Harind, you have inequality doubts? You can stay here. Rest all of you can go. If you have some inequality doubts, you can. We have 3 questions and inequality still left. Let's not do it now. You people will go mad. It's okay. We'll finish it later. But those are easy questions. If you have any doubt, you ask me on the weekdays also. I'll explain it to you. So you people can leave the class. Harind, you had some doubts in inequalities, right? I'll pause the recording.